Hi guys, and welcome back to Fit with T. I hope you guys are good. So we've all had those races that we'd rather forget. That is athletics. Athletics can have very high highs and really low lows. So in this video, I just wanted to give you guys 3 tips that you can use for if you have had a bad race and you're really struggling to turn that frown upside down. I want to give you 3 tips to help you take the negatives and spin them into positives. So let's get into it. Okay, so my first tip is to acknowledge what went right. Let's face it, we can all be very dramatic and say nothing went right, nothing. But there's always something, even if it wasn't the race itself. Was how you handled nerves better this time? Did you turn up on time this time? Were you able to sort out your warm-up routine better? Was it more effective this time? Did you figure out when to eat, when to go to the toilet? Was that better this time? So find one thing that was actually positive, one thing that actually went right this time, and write that down. So if you have a training diary, writing it down in your training diary is the perfect place to write this. So if you do need the training diary guide, I've got 2. So make sure to check those out in the link in the description box below. But writing this down can help you for your future, because let's say in your next race now, maybe you still don't run the time that you want. Maybe that's what you're looking at.
Nothing went right.
But looking back, you can see, okay, I had 1 positive thing last time, but this time I have 2. And so you can see progress in that. So acknowledge what went right. At least one thing. If you have more than that, that's fantastic. But at least one thing. Write down one thing that went right in your competition, even if it wasn't the race itself. Okay, so my second tip is to be specific about what went wrong. As much as we can say nothing went right, we can say everything went wrong. But if you're saying, you didn't run the time you wanted to run, the race was rubbish. Why was it rubbish? What didn't go well about that race? Was it your start? Did you not get out well? You didn't feel explosive? Did you feel slow? Or was it the fact that you got out of everybody but then everyone started to leave you? Was it the fact that you missed a step in your race? So be very specific about what the problem is, because if you're not specific about the problem, you won't be able to fix the problem. You won't be able to address the problem in training. So be specific. And this is where video feedback can be really helpful, because sometimes in the heat of your emotions, you can literally forget the race because it was negative, because it induced bad feelings of disappointment, slight trauma sometimes, because we don't like those feelings. We don't want to remember. Maybe it was embarrassing even what happened to you in the race. Everyone left you maybe. It can induce a lot of different negative emotions, and so we can suppress it, and literally the memory can be lost from our mind because we suppressed it. So video feedback can be really helpful, and looking back over your race and looking at it critically as to what was the problem. Why is it? What do you need to work on? Do you need more speed endurance? Do you need to get more rhythm? So you need to do more running and training. You're not doing enough running and training. Just look at it specifically and write down a specific issue so that you can address the specific issue. But like I said, video feedback is really helpful if you want to do this. That's where a training diary can be really helpful as well, because maybe you lost your concentration in the race, and writing something like that down can help. If you realize that you're not focused, if you realize that other people got into your head, the nerves kicked in or whatever it is, writing down, was it actually a fitness issue that you need to deal with? Is it a technical issue that you need to deal with? Is it a emotional feeling or thoughts? Like, was it your mindset? Did you feel weak that day because you hadn't eaten enough? So being specific and writing those things down means that you can address the issue. So be specific about what went wrong so that you can address the issue. So before I get into the last point of this video, tip number 3, if you're enjoying the video guys, please give it a big thumbs up to help me accelerate my channel, to let the algorithm know so that more people can see this video. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe now and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any more videos when I do upload them. So let's get into the final point. So now that you have acknowledged what went right, even if it was one thing, and been specific about what went wrong, now it's time to make a plan. I literally feel like I say this all the time, but you're going to make a plan, and this is going to help motivate you, reintroduce the motivation to keep moving forward and motivation for your future. When is your next race? How long do you have until your next race? What are you going to work on between where you are now and your next race? How are you going to work on this? What specific exercises, what specific things are you going to do? And can you see how now that you're going to go back to training with a plan in place and ways to address your weaknesses, to address the things that didn't go right, you're now going to have more motivation to press forward with it? Because if you just leave it like, oh, everything went wrong, that was just a terrible race, I'm so rubbish, that doesn't give you any hope, doesn't give you any way of fixing it, doesn't make you feel like you have any possibility of fixing it. But because you've been specific about your problem and now you've got a plan, you know, if you have a coach, you've sat down with your coach and your coach has told you how you're going to address it. If you train alone, you've gone through a plan of how you're going to address it. Now you feel like you're working towards something, and this helps to deal with those feelings of disappointment, discouragement, and helps give you the motivation to keep moving forward. So athletics can literally be an emotional roller coaster, but I really hope that these tips have helped you guys to see how you can take a step back and get a clearer picture, a clearer view of what happened, assess the situation, make a plan for the situation. So I really hope that you guys found this video helpful. Let me know in the comment section below which point you found the most helpful, and any other tips that you have for any other athlete that's watching this. Write it in the comment section below so we can all move forward after those bad races that do happen sometimes, unfortunately, but that is sport and that is life. So if you want some more motivation, guys, and some tips on how to cultivate a winner's mentality, then make sure to check out this video, and I'll see you guys next Friday.